Hello and welcome to another episode of Never Onside. Hi, this is Joseph, and joining me as usual is Mayur. And this international break has been no short of action, as we have seen one of the uh, top managers in the form of Antonio Conte and Nagelsmann in Bayern being sacked. And it has truly been a bizarre week, to be honest, because Nagelsmann being sacked was one of the kind of surprised a lot of people. Conte kind of brought it on himself, and we will probably see these two managers in action again very soon because I am sure they'll be pursued by many clubs around the world. Especially, we have already seen Nagelsmann being linked to top sides, and Antonio Conte. You know what his pedigree is and what he expects from clubs. So we'll talk about what happened in the last week and also what led to these two sackings. So first, let's get on to the results from game week 28. Yeah, so these were the matches that happened. It was kind of a blank week where the major teams like United, City did not play. While you could see that Arsenal um, scoring four past Crystal Palace, Chelsea drawing 2-2 against Everton. Just when we thought Potter kind of turned things around the corner, we thought their Champions League performances were great, but again they dropped point at home, which is kind of interesting with the fact that Nagelsmann is kind of available right now. And what are your thoughts, Mayur, on this?
Yes. So first of all, Chelsea again, they've again, as we have said it multiple times, they still don't look like a team, which is the main thing. But there have been some pretty good performances, and we have seen Kante back, Chilwell, who was a very crucial player in this team. So we have seen there are opportunities. A lot of Havertz had a lot of chances as well. So there are a lot of chances. They just need to take those, and they should be enough to get into top six, is what I feel. Potter. Apart from that, the biggest debacle this week was the Spurs game. They were comfortably in the lead, and then suddenly, as usual, this throughout this season, we have seen they have dropped a lot of points. And we saw Conte just not sure what to do. Kane wasn't sure what to do. He asked Ryan Mason, "What should we do now?" And he was just like waved his both hands, and he was like he wasn't even sure. So that's what we have been seeing at Spurs, Chelsea as well. But a lot of confusion regarding players, how to perform, what's happening exactly. And as a result, we saw Spurs going after Conte, and Conte did mention a lot of things in the press conference about Spurs, their history, and a lot of things. And we saw they have been like very active in the decision making, and they have like mutually consented, and they have
Yeah.
parted ways.
So Tottenham and Conte never really matched for me. It was never it was never going to be a happy ending because you could see that Daniel Levy and Antonio Conte are very polarizing managers with different polarizing personalities with different ideologies and thoughts. And I'm sure Antonio Conte must have realized this, and so would have Levy as well because both of them knew what they were getting. Conte was very clear from the start that he wanted transparency, he wanted backing in the transfer windows, he wanted his players to be fit, and and he said he will drill those players, and they will want to win matches with him. So that is what he promised, and to an extent, I feel that he has delivered. Especially last season, when Tottenham must have played one of the best football in the last 4 years, even better than when they had Pochettino with them, because they were truly fascinating in some parts of last season. But it really broke down this season, uh, partially because of the fact that Conte was very outspoken in his press conferences as well. You could see that he always thought that Spurs were much below what his actual pedigree is, and that is the reason why I feel that he never committed to Spurs fully. because he had the opportunity to tie the to sign a long-term contract, and Spurs were expecting it, but eventually we all knew that it was not going to happen. Also, I feel Conte was a bit unlucky with the fact that if you look at some of the players that were standing out last season and the seasons before, the likes of Loris, Son, um, and you can name other players as well. So those players who you thought would Romero as well, even though he won the World Cup, I don't think he has been great for Spurs. The Kane Son connection hasn't been great. Loris making a lot of high profile mistakes as well, and that really cost Spurs. And also the World Cup coming in between kind of shifted the focus of a lot of players away from the club football as well. That might also be a reason, and also you could see that Conte was never happy in the fact that he had a blood bladder, like a surgery as well. And also, if you see that two of his close friends passed away in this year, and also one of his coaching staff members who was very close to him, who had a big influence in how Conte managed the players, he also passed away. So that is also a reason why Conte struggled in this season. So looking at it, it was never going to work out, and it poses a lot of questions to Spurs and Daniel Levy more than towards Conte, because what are Spurs intending to do? What are their philosophies? What are their plans in the long run? Because it was clear by December that Conte was not going to sign the new deal, but they never pursued anyone. Now that Nagelsmann is, got free, they are pursuing him. They don't have a clear plan, and that is what Conte has been saying throughout his press conferences as well. That Spurs lack that kind of top-down coherence, and as well as the players are not good enough when it comes to the crunch moments. That's what Conte was implying, and that's what got us here. And I'm sure Conte will find a better role soon. But will Spurs find the right manager and change their structure which can suit them? Because uh, at this rate, this club is only going down.
So, what do you think? Where do they go here from? We have seen there have been links of Pochettino coming back, Nagelsmann
Right,
coming back. But I feel for Nagelsmann, it's a very tricky thing to do. If he fails in this team, it will be a lot of downhill for
right.
him from.
He would
So,
want some stability in the club that he would be going to, so that, and also I think he would pick like a not a high profile, like a spotlight team like Spurs where everyone is expecting something, but it's not happening for any manager. The likes of Mourinho, Conte, it didn't work out for them. So it's highly unlikely that he would change countries to another very competitive league, and he has to shift from his country and bring his everything changes for him. Even the philosophy that he has, even the tactics that he has, it has to change for Nagelsmann if he's coming to Premier League. And also, I think this is also an existential crisis, or what do you call it? I think Guardiola was Bayern Munich's one of Bayern Munich's best managers, because by the time he went there, he had clear philosophy, and he had the capability to convince the players to join him in whatever he was doing. Nagelsmann is still figuring out his tactics, his philosophy, because if you had noticed how Bayern played recently under him, there were a lot of changes. He recently deployed I think a 4-2-3-1 or a 3-2-4-1 hybrid system. And also, there was a lot of complaints from the players regarding the fact that he goes for the system more than what players would want, or would the players suit the system. He goes for a system and decides to implement it without consulting the players. And it was told that um, a lot of players were kept in the dark, and also he kind of lost the dressing room with Muller being substituted within the first half. In the first half, after defeat uh, in the Bundesliga, and so these reasons makes me think that he would want to go to a club where he can build himself, build his confidence again, figure out what he wants to do in terms of tactics and philosophy, and come up with a better solution. Uh, Actually, Bayern were kind of forced to make this change because Tuchel was available. That's the only reason why I can think they sacked Nagelsmann at this point. Because you could see that an important match against Dortmund is coming up. You have a match against the City in the. You had a match against City as well. So so it's kind of intriguing how a team like Bayern could sack a manager at such a crucial point in the season. And the only reason I can understand is that Tuchel was forcing Bayern's hand because Tuchel slipped through Bayern's hands when he left the Dortmund job. And he was available, but Bayern was not sure if he would be the right fit for their philosophy and style. And that when they had that doubt, that PSG came in and swept him away. And this time, I'm sure they wanted to get him, and that's why they made this instantaneous decision. Because I'm sure even Nagelsmann and the players got to know about this sacking through social media. So that is one controversy, and also in terms of the personal life that Nagelsmann was leading, that was also an issue which there were reports that he had, a relationship with a ex-reporter of one of Germany's biggest tabloids, and players and staff and management were not, keen on that, and they were like not sure about where that was leading, and also you could see him coming to the training session on skateboard and bike, and such things are not expected from a Bayern manager. So that is also a reason why I think he had to go through this maturing phase where he had to go down into the dust to come back and find himself again.
For me, I think philosophically he's there. He knows. He made a lot of changes. He understood in his first season what changes he needed to make. Apart from that, Bayern also didn't help him by recruiting right players at the right position where they needed. That might be lack of thing which Bayern did. But yeah, as you said, communication was the most important key. We have seen managers like Pep Guardiola who bench players, and we have seen this kind of things happening. But they communicate as well, which is the
Right,
most important part, and which Nagelsmann should learn. I feel he's a top coach. He will be soon back. But again, the available jobs at the current time, I don't see anything which will be tempting because if he goes at Spurs again, a very risky job. Chelsea might be an option if Chelsea want to go for him. That is the most suitable job I feel. Apart from it, Real Madrid is the one which are looking for a
right,
coach
right, right,
in
right,
the summer window. But again, I think Real Madrid is a club where the positional play and everything which Nagelsmann goes through and the way he has been taught up, it will take a long process to
right,
get the team working as he wants. So again,
right.
at the moment, there is no any club which stands out. So
No
he will take his
high-profile
time.
club that can stand out in this.
Yes. So he'll take his time, and eventually in the summer window, we'll see soon his news coming in. So that's it for game week 28. And apart from that, Nagelsmann